Hello, friends and followers. So here we have a look at the bias supply on the Heathkit Marauder transmitter. So I've been wrestling with this. The problem I've had is I can't really dial down the drive to the final tube to get no drive or zero plate. So when you look at this circuit, there really is no regulation on this bias supply because this OB2 regulator tube is not engaged until the radio transmits. So transmitter transmits. So to show you that, all you have to do is trace this wire here. And it goes here and it goes to this relay. And what you'll see is, so right here, it simply grounds this wire when it transmits, which means this tube will then ground, this gas tube, and that will cause the regulation here to happen. So I did check that these voltages here are correct, that bias the final. So these do indeed look good. My trouble is that there's a takeoff point here with a 68K resistor right here. And this should be minus 9 volts. Now, there's a difference. Is it minus 9 under transmit or minus 9 under not transmitting? I would think it would be transmit because you really only care about adjusting the drive level when you're transmitting. So my 68K resistor here was 83K. So I thought, okay, I can put a 68K back in here, but it still wouldn't be right. So to correct this situation, you want to put in some resistor in here that when you transmit, when you are engaged in transmitting, you have 9 volts here. You want 9 volts, minus 9 volts, because you want to give the range of bias to the two controls that control spot and that control the drive. So let's find those controls again. Where are they? Looking for them. Anyway, there's two knobs on here that go to the 6CB6. Where's the 6CB6? Right here. So the IF amplifier is what is squelched. This grid current here, you can see it goes from 0 to minus 9. When it's minus 9, this thing is quiesced. When it's 0, you have full drive. So if you follow this wire down here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's the control right there. It's either this one or it's this one for the spot. So basically, where's my camera here? There, that one for spot, that one for drive. So really, when this control on this wiper arm here, when this is down here to position 1 and you're transmitting, you want to see 9 volts here on terminal 1. 0 volts or no bias when you're completely clockwise. So this is counterclockwise, this is clockwise. And if you follow this wire back to where it goes, you'll see it's our 68K resistor. There it is, there it is, there it is. Whoops. Yep, there it is. The famous 68K resistor right here. So I found that when I put 47K in there, when I key up the transmitter, I get about 0.912 volts here, and that puts us in the range of working well. And I'll show you a demo of that. So that's the theory of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Here's the actual transmitter here sitting on the floor. And I've been wise enough finally to just start subbing in diodes. So I have unsoldered the 12K, I'm sorry, the 64K resistor, which is actually failed up to 83K. So I'm simply done subbing in resistors here, and I'm measuring the voltage on that voltage divider. And what else I found disturbingly are these potentiometers are supposed to be 10K per the schematic, and in my radio they're 5K. So did they run out of 10Ks or something? I don't know, but they're 5K in here, 5K across the potentiometer, which does change the dynamics of using a different resistor. So at any rate, I just thought I would shoehorn until I get the voltages I want. So sure enough, I'm on 80 meters now. And if I transmit, this will come down to 9 volts, around 9 volts. And that's where I want it. Now I'm transmitting, and now the drive. I should be able to quiesce the drive on any band I want down to nothing. And sure enough, it's pretty good now, so I can quiesce it, and I can also get max power out, which is what I want. So see, there's max power, and I'm not even all the way, so it does work reasonably well, enough that I can dial in what I want. So that's what I wanted to see on this thing, and that's working on 80 meters. 40 meters on this radio quit again, so I can't show that. Let's go to 20 meters. There's 20 meters. Give it some drive. We'll tune it. And we'll tune the plate. Okay, plate's tuned up. There's 20 meters. Again, this should squelch all the way down to nothing. If I turn it counterclockwise, we should get no power out. There's no power out. If I crank it up, that's all, that's full juice. So I'm really happy with that. On 15 meters, the same kind of deal. Let's crank it up and do a tune here. And do a dip. Yeah, there's some juice in 15 now. So sure enough, when I crank this all the way down, I want to see nothing out of this thing at all. There's nothing. When I crank it up, I want to see power. So that issue is fixed, finally. It's understood and fixed. So now on all bands, I have good drive control. And I've regulated bias to the final too, so that's all good. I was going to yank out the OB2, and I thought, no, I gotta fix this thing right. So that's all fixed. What remains is 40 meters has quit because I think the heterodyne crystal has quit again. 10 meters has gone on the whack again because it has really bad parasitics, so that's come back. So I gotta look at that. But at least one thing is figured out, so I'm making progress. I really want to get this thing back together and get it working, but I don't want to put it back together and lift it up onto the desk. It's 80 pounds. I'll need help to get it up there. I also got to pull that receiver down. That receiver has hum sometimes, so I got to pull that down and inspect the power supply. So there's probably a few more days of work here. Unfortunately, or I could just buy an ICOM IC 7300 and sell off all these radios and become an appliance operator. I'm waiting for a transformer for this one to fix it. The 340 volts B plus transformer, which I've ordered, which is I think a 270EX from Hammond. That's coming in the mail sometime. That's taken a month to order. So maybe that'll work. This one, I really want to get it working well. And the audio on AM also needs improved. So I did replace a capacitor in here that drives a modulator. I don't know if that'll make any difference, but it seemed like the one in there worked. But anyway, there's a tiny capacitor here now that you can see it right there in the video. There's a big one in there that I threw in the waste can into the rubbish. So I really want to get this cover off. It doesn't seem easy to get off, and I want to at least make this switch easier to turn. It's really hard to turn between modes, and I want to replace any capacitors under there that might be sketchy and see if I can get the AM audio really nice. Anyway, that's my update on this thing. I still got a bunch of problems with it. We're supposed to get higher winds here in this area, and they're coming in. Okay, thanks for watching. Yeah, again, this is about the bias in your transmitter. So when this thing's idling, I'm seeing about 12.36, minus 12.36 volts, where it should be 9 volts on transmit, which it is now. And how hot is this thing getting? It burns my finger after a while, but it's a 1 watt resistor. It's not melting the rug. That's a good sign. And again, when I transmit, you want to see 9 volts, which it is, minus 9 volts. And it kicks in the OB2 regulator, so that should be a regulated 9 volts. All right. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I hope it doesn't burn up the potentiometer, but what are you going to do? Have a nice day.